Come on and hear, come on and hear Alexander's ragtime band. Come on and hear, come on and hear, it's the best band in the land. They can play a bugle call like you've never heard before, so natural that you wanna go to war. That's just the bestest band one and Honeyland. Come on along, come on along, let me take you by the hand. Up to the man, who's the leader of the band. And if you care
1911 was written by Irving Berlin when he was only 23 years old. The song proved to be only the beginning of the vast works of a man who would become one of America's most beloved and acclaimed songwriters. Tonight, guided by the insight and experiences of his daughter, Mary Ellen, we celebrate his life and music and the vital connection between the two. As we share the moments of his life with you, the essence of Irving Berlin and those closest to him will be portrayed at various points by all of our performers throughout the evening. So now, without further ado, we invite you to enjoy the music and the spirit of this American century, the story of Irving Berlin.
But our story begins in the spring of 1924. At 36, Irving Berlin had become the most famous songwriter in the world.
The third of his music box reviews had just closed after a very successful 8-month run on Broadway. He had lived such a life already that Alexander Woollcott was writing a book about him. And he had a new hit song.
A sweet, sad, jazz-age waltz that would become the courtship song of Irving Berlin and Ellen Mackey. But that's all history now. Ancient history. The celebrated romance of the Catholic golden girl who earns millions.
And the immigrant cantor's son from the Lower East Side. The story that caught the world's imagination. 80s Irish rose and diamonds and waltz time. They met on the evening of May 23rd, 1924, at a New York dinner party.
So love your song. What shall I do?
What'll I do? What grab is concerned, Miss Mackey, I can always use a little help. What'll I do when you are far away and I am blue? What'll I do?
Became a buckster on the Bowery, and at 17, a singing waiter in Mike Salter's Chinatown Cafe. The year? 1905.
As a child, I went wild when a band played.
How I ran to the man when his hands swayed.
Clarinets were my pets, and a slide trombone I thought was simply divine.
But today when they played, I could hiss them.
Every bar is a jar to my system. But there's one musical instrument that I call mine. I love a piano. I love a piano. I love to hear somebody play upon a piano, a grand piano. It simply carries me away.
is still singing Alexander and his Ragtime Band. It's become an international sensation. He's so popular, and he's married a lovely girl, a young singer by the name of Dorothy Getz.
Give me you.
few months to live.
That was 12 years ago. Hard work turned out to be the best tonic. The brown transposing upright piano. The one with the knob that moved the keyboard. You see, Irving only played in the key of F sharp. So with just a push of a knob, he could get the notes to come out in C, or G, or E flat, or whatever key was right for singing that particular song. He had always wanted to get some formal musical education, even talked about writing a jazz opera, but instead came up with his first Broadway show. The time? Just before the First World War.
The show, Watch Your Step.
A milestone, the first ever all ragtime,
All syncopated musical.
and it's been shows ever since.
This is Maestro.
In days of yore before the war, when hearts now old were young, at home each night by firelight, those dear old songs were sung. Sweet melodies, their memories around my
The other day I chanced to meet some soldier friends of mine. They'd been in camp for several weeks and they were looking fine. Their muscles had developed and their cheeks were rosy red. I asked them how they liked their life, and this is what they said.
Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning. Oh, how I'd love to remain in bed. For the hardest blow of all is to hear a bugler call. You've got to get up, you've got to get up, you've got to get up this morning. Someday I'm going to murder the bugler. One day they're going to find him dead. I'll amputate his reveille and step upon it heavily and spend the rest of my life in bed.
The bugler in the army is the luckiest of men. He wakes the boys at 5 and then goes back to bed again. He doesn't have to blow again until the afternoon. If everything goes well with me, I'll be a bugler
Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning. Oh, how I'd love to remain in bed. Oh, the hardest blow of all is to hear the bugler call. Oh, boy, the minute the battle is over. Oh, boy, the minute the foe is dead.
I'll put my uniform away and move to Philadelphia and
Spend the rest of my life in bed.
You get the point.
And then I'll kill that other punk, the one who wakes the bugler up, and spend the rest of my life in bed.
He's not so good in a crowd when you get him alone. You'd be surprised. He isn't much at a dance, but then when he takes you home, you'd be surprised. He doesn't look like much of a lover. Oh, but don't judge a book by its cover. He's got the face of an angel, but there's the devil in his eye. He's such a delicate thing, but when he starts in a squeeze, you'd be surprised. He doesn't look very strong, but when you sit on his knees, you'd be surprised. At a party or at a ball, I'm not to admit he's nothing at all, but in an easy chair, you'd be surprised.
I have an ear for music, and I have an eye for a maid. I like a pretty girlie with each
and she was semi-engaged to a nice man who bored her. But eventually, Irving won her affection, and she felt that she was falling in love with Irving Berlin. Enter Clarence Mack, Ellen's father. Mouth a tight line beneath his brushed mustache, and blue eyes blazing, indignant in every portion of his tidy, imperious frame. He speaks of the unsuitability, the impossibility of this man 15 years older, a Broadway songwriter, someone from a completely different background of no education, no position, leading God knows what sort of life. He states that Ellen must stop seeing this man. It is the night of a great party at the Mackey Mansion on Long Island.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion says? Putting on the Ritz. Different types of everyday pants with stripes, cutaway, perfect fits. Putting on the Ritz. Strolling up the avenue so happy. Dressed up just like an English chappie. Very snappy. When the ticks will run around, or with sticks will run around. Send them nits. Put numbers. Have you seen the well-to-do up and down Park Avenue? On that Vegas thoroughfare, with their noses in the air. High hats and narrow collars, white spats with lots of fun, spending every dime for a wonderful time.
Mr. Mackey has warned the men on guard not to admit one Irving Berlin on the off chance that he might try to crash the party. But how can he order Paul Whitman not to play that song?
Why do
decided to send her abroad for 6 months. She'd soon forget Mr. Berlin. Daily, she wrote the person she called my young man, pages and pages in her narrow, curvy, untidy, but legible hand.
A girl in love,
Who was also a born writer,
an unmusical girl.
whose prose was marvelously musical, observant, intelligent ardent letters that delivered all the gossipy details of what she was doing, along with a clear message.
That she was not about to forget or be forgotten.
How can I tell you what is in my heart? How can I measure each and every part?
course she did. She remembered once catching a glimpse of him under a street lamp. He was wearing a hat that she didn't much like, and he was chewing gum. And as he chewed, his hat moved. And she thought to herself, is he really what I'm ready to give up everything for? This funny little man chewing his gum with his hat moving up and down on top of his head? He was.
Days may not be fair always, but when I'll be there always, not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year. But
Always. Ellen's wedding present. And to celebrate the birth of their first child, Blue Skies, December 1926.
blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Birds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. I never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. I sing the days hurrying by when you're in love. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on.
Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see.
All I see is bluebirds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. I never saw the sun shining all Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now
There's an old superstition way down south. Everybody believes that trouble won't stay if you shake it away. Can I get an amen, brothers and sisters? When you hold a revival way down south, everybody with cares and trouble that day tries to shake it away.
shaking the blues away, unhappy blues
40 is not young. 40 is ancient if you hit the streets at 14. 40 is, of course, a mere boy if you're going to end up living to 101.
Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies.
Irving Berlin Jr. was born on December 1st, 1928. The infant was home in time for Christmas. And then, around 5 o'clock on the morning of Christmas Day, Irving Jr. was found dead in his bassinet by the nurse. It had something to do with his breathing.
Shaking the blues away, unhappy news away.
You know, about this time, he thought he'd gone dry, lost his nerve. The dry spell, when everything he was writing seemed worthless to him.
Shake off your cares and troubles, telling the blues to go. They may refuse to go.
He had no interest in exploring deeper reasons for the writer's block. A 40th birthday, the death of a child.
But as a rule, they'll go if you shake them away.
Less than a year later, October 21st, 1929, Black Thursday, and even blacker Friday. In a night, a fortune is lost. One day, he's a rich man. Then all of a sudden, he's starting over, back to the beginning.